Everybody just go ahead and stand up with me. We're going to stand up. Okay, we're going to do a couple stretches, nothing embarrassing. You don't need to be a master in Pilates. It's going to be easy. So just hands on the hip, all right? And we're just going to go back and forth. Ooh, if you want to do the old man groan, you can. Other one. All right, stretch the back out with the clitoris, with the phophloris. Yep, there you go. Stretch it, all right? Number one rule living in Florida, you never drive through Orlando, you got to go around Orlando. Yeah, around town. Everybody say around town. I got dads looking at me like, what are we doing? All right, go to grab a seat. Good job, good job. It's just a little bit of what we do over in kids. But good morning, everybody. I'm excited to share with you all that we have going on in nursery, in kids, in youth. This stuff is happening every week. We want to make it our number one day for your students. And so youth happens on Wednesday nights across the street from 5 to 8 p.m. Yes, 3 hours with teenagers pretty much every week throughout the year. And then we also have kids' church in the back. We keep them in the back because we're too loud for y'all. Y'all couldn't handle it, okay? So we stay in the back and party it up back there. And then we got our nursery up front because anybody with a kid in nursery, you want to know that they're safe. You want to know where they're at. And all that fun stuff. So those are the departments that we're going to be talking about today and kind of what we do. But everything that we do is for your kids to get to know Jesus because we believe that that's the most important thing in the world, okay? We want to give the next generation the one thing that lasts. The one thing that lasts. It's the only thing. Snickers bars, they don't last, okay? All the way up to the most serious stuff, marriages don't last, and cars don't last, and motorcycles don't last, but we want to give them the one thing that lasts forever, and that's Jesus. The one thing that lasts. If you want to give your kids anything, give them the one thing that's going to last forever. And how we do this is one of the best ways for a kid to get to know God is to know people who know God. It's very simple. And that's not going to happen if your kids aren't here. So we want your kids here. We want your kids to be in church, and we have fun. Believe it or not, like we party it up, okay? We make Jesus fun because he is fun. He changed the world. Like we should rejoice about that and celebrate that. And that's why we want your kids here so bad. And with kids going into kindergarten through fifth grade, it's a pivotal role in their life and kind of discovering a little bit of who they are and what they're about. And like I said, that happens back there, and that happens every Sunday. Every Sunday besides Fifth Sundays, which are family Sundays, but that's because there's donuts and we need to get them in here or they rally against me and it gets very tribal very quick. So, but God is working and we don't always get to see the harvest. And that's something that I remind my volunteers, that's something my volunteers remind me, is that sometimes we don't get to see the harvest. We don't get to see all the work that we've put into some of these students. Sometimes they go on in life, then they go later, and then you see the harvest. You're like, yes, what I said way back when they were in nursery, like they actually listened. They might be a senior in high school. It took 12 years, but they finally got it, that Jesus wants to be their friend. Praise the Lord, all right? And that's what we do every single week. Every single Sunday we're doing that. And the first thing, the real thing I want you to write down, I want you to remember is that little people don't have a little spirit. You hearing me on this? Little people don't have a little spirit, okay? This is huge. Just because they're little, sometimes we think, just because they're little, they don't have a big spirit. They don't have the spirit that I have as an adult. That's not true. They have the same spirit inside of them that parted the seas, that healed the sick and the broken. It's the same spirit. So sometimes we see kids and we're like, those are kids, like they can't do what we can just because they're kids, and that's not true. And so we got our little ones coming up, so let's go and give our little ones a round of applause, all right? And these students are going to be going from nursery into kindergarten, so they're going to be with me on Sundays and our ministry team over there. And so we're really excited to have them over there. Our teachers over in kids department is Miss Tiffany and Mr. Dre, and also Miss Nancy Schuler and Mr. Tim Schuler. And those are our teachers over there, and then me as well. And we get to love on these kids that are coming up, and that's an awesome thing. Like, that's exciting, okay? And that's an exciting thing for them to see God continually every week. And that's why what we love to do is because we just love to hang on the kids and love on them and be there for them. So today's a big day. Some of them do not like this stage. Me neither. But yeah, we're all up here, okay? And Miss Gina, this is our nursery director, and she's going to share her heart this morning. So let's go give Miss Gina a round of applause.
Good morning, Bethany. I'm a little nervous. I don't normally speak in front of people. But I just want to say I'm Miss Gina, and I know a lot of you. I've seen you, but I don't know all your names, so I look forward forward to meeting you. I am truly blessed to be a part of this ministry, and the fact that I get to love on your kids every Sunday and share Jesus with all the great volunteers that we have. So thank you, volunteers, everybody who volunteers in the nursery. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Miss Gina. Thank you, thank you. And let's go ahead and give our little ones one last round of applause as little ones. You. Miss Gina made you guys a gift as you guys go on to the next stage of being in kindergarten, so that's for you guys to keep. Let's give them one last round of applause as they come down, okay? Good job, little ones. And we're excited, like they're going up into kindergarten. It's an exciting time. They get to work with us, and they get to see how crazy we are in kids for Jesus and just the wildness that happens over there. We just got back from kids camp in June and youth camp in July, and me and my wife and our volunteers, we survived both of them. We made it safely. The other youth pastors at youth camp maybe weren't so lucky. One of them got a cross. This is B. Austin Shekel. He sleeps so hard that they shaved a cross into his leg through his hair. And then the other youth pastor got a dead fish in his bed. So, yeah. So, my kids didn't do anything. I don't know if that's because I'm not fun or just because I'm scary. I don't know. But I will take it. I will own that nothing happened. So that was good. But like I said, little people don't have a little spirit, and that's a huge thing because our goal is to make Sunday your child's favorite day. I mean, we want your kids to wake you guys up. We want your kids to be jumping on your pillow saying, let's go to church. And that's what we want. And that's like our goal. So our goal is to wake you guys up. I'm sorry. But I really want your kids here on Sunday. I want them here. I want them to hear the love of Jesus, and I want you to as well. Parents have most influence over their kids than anybody else in the world, okay? Statistics say that parents have the leading, not guidance, but the leading, influence, the leading influence to get their kids in church and to stay in church. It's the parents. As awesome or as crazy as the youth pastor might be with his shaving cream games and everything else, nothing can compare to what a parent's influence is. So it all comes back to you guys as parents, as grandparents, to keep them here, to get them here. And that's why our goal is to make Sunday the most exciting day for your students. But we just got back, like I said, from kids camp. So I want you guys to see a glimpse of what kids camp was like, what I survived through, and what your kids had fun doing. So go ahead and watch this video on the screen.
With my heart, I trust in you. Your song I will sing forever. And there's one thing I know, you will never let me go. Your love is with me forever. The Lord is my strength and my shield, my rock and my salvation. And with my song I will praise Him. The Lord is my strength and my shield, my rock and my salvation. And with my song I will praise Him. On the days I'm feeling down, I know you're always around. Your love is with me forever. You hear me when I call, you catch me when I fall. I will lift your name up forever. The Lord is my strength and my shield, my rock and my salvation. And with my song I will praise Him. The Lord is my strength and my shield, my rock and my salvation. And with my song I will praise Him. We're gonna lift your name, we're gonna lift your name, we're gonna lift your name up. We're gonna sing your praise, we're gonna sing your praise, we're gonna sing your praises. Your promises are true, your promises are true, your promises are true. And I will trust in you, I will trust in you, I will trust in you. The Lord is my strength and my shield, my rock and my
we had a great time. This is one of the biggest groups I've ever taken to kids camp. Also, one of the best behaved. They were super well behaved. Kids camp is like Zumba mixed in with a 5K with horrible food for you. So you're just trying to like make it through the day. But it's awesome. We had a great time. A lot of our kids already know Jesus, so they were growing off of that. But it was just awesome to see them just be fully committed, fully just engulfed in what Jesus has for them at that time. There's no distractions. If you know elementary boys, they can get distracted very easily, probably like your husband a little bit. But they see something, they're gone. So, but they were able to stay engaged. It was awesome to have them come. But if there's any fifth graders that are going into sixth grade, go on and come on up. Any fifth graders going into sixth grade? All right. Any fifth graders that are going to sixth grade? Okay, I know we got two that weren't able to make it today. But Kayla and Jess, you guys, they're going to be going with me to youth on Wednesdays. So they'll be with me on Wednesday nights. They will no longer be with us on Sundays. So everybody go, aw. All right. But they will be with us here in main service. So you guys will be in main service on Sundays, and then they'll be at youth with me on Wednesday nights as they go into sixth grade. So we have a gift for you guys as well. Miss Chelsea will bring you guys a gift, but we're excited to work with you guys on Wednesday nights. We're pumped. I can't believe how tall you guys are. Most of our other students, let's go to give them a round of applause. Thank you, girls. You guys go and grab a seat. Thank you. But Kayla and Jess and a lot of these other kids that are going to be moving up, I've known a lot of them since they were in first grade, which is crazy. Like to see how tall they are now is insane to me. But they're just growing, and as they're growing, it's cool to see that Bethany can walk through them from the time they come in as a baby all the way until they graduate high school. And what they do is when students go from fifth grade to sixth grade, they enter a very confusing time called a preteen. Everybody say preteen. Okay, it's a weird time, okay? Frustrating for dads, all right? Moms, youth pastors, everybody's just trying to figure it all out. Because what's happening is that preteens are moving from concrete thinking to abstract thinking. And what I mean by that is when the preteen goes from concrete to abstract, concrete is yes, no, it's right, or it's wrong. But when a student goes into that teenage phase, as they're going into that, they go into abstract thinking. So an example would be a student tries out for a baseball team, and he didn't make the cut, but his friend did. And then he finds out the only reason why his friend made the team was because the coaches, all right, were friends with his friends' parents. So now he knows that his skill isn't going to get him. There's personal stuff there, there's friendships, and he got there because there's a connection there. And so they're trying to figure all that out. Now there's this abstract thinking of trying to understand everything. And so that's why youth on Wednesday nights is so important. Is because we're able to walk through students as they're trying to figure out life, as they're trying to figure out who they are. Some of you guys are like, I'm 35, I have no clue who I am yet. So, but we're able to walk through that in youth, and that's an important thing. It's huge for students. We have volunteers that come, and we have a huge volunteer crew with us over on Wednesday nights, and we're there. We do it through the summer. We do it. If there's a Wednesday that we can do it, we do it. So we have youth throughout the summer, throughout the school year. We even take students home. So we do van rides home as well. So students can't get a ride home, we're able to give them a ride home thanks to you guys. And it's so huge. It's a huge thing for them to be there. But some statistics to drop, just so you guys can understand a little bit more about preteens, is that 70% of preteens use tech devices daily. Would you guys believe that? I think so. Maybe you guys have seen a second grader with a phone, and you're like, what is happening in the world, okay? 90% of preteens consume media, so any kind of media, social media, media on the screen, whatever it might be, but also not only are they taking in tech devices and media, but they're also super busy. 70% of preteens are involved in some kind of sports, 50% are involved in outside instructions of some sort, and then 36% are involved in after-school tutoring. That's where I was, because school. Anybody have a rough time with school growing up? All right, so all three hands, cool, I feel smart. All right. So, and because of all that business, that leaves the church where, okay? It leaves it in a hard place, in a hard spot. Because what's happening is students are having practices, basketball, baseball practices on Wednesday nights, so then they can't make it to church on Wednesday, when before 10, 20 years ago, there was no practice on Wednesday nights. And then we have games on Sundays. A lot of my kids have games on Sundays or tournaments that run throughout the weekend from a Friday to Sunday. It is not different for a basketball tournament to run from Friday all the way till Sunday night. So our students sometimes aren't even able to make it to church, and it leaves it in a hard place. But also, in the most important place. And we got to make it important. We got to make it important for our kids. We got to make it a priority. I would so much rather your kids be disciples than NBA players. I would so much rather your kids fall head over heels for Jesus than be the next Peyton Manning. Even though Peyton Manning probably makes more money than all of us put together, but you know what I'm saying? So it's not about the money, it comes back to the heart. And that's why we want your students in there. That's why I want to meet with them. I want to be there for them. We really do care. And teenagers are as crazy and as wild as you think they are, okay? And that's why they need Jesus so much, all right? We just got back from youth camp, and it was an amazing week that we had. And we had actually one of our middle school girls accept Jesus during camp, which is amazing. Yes, all right, which is awesome. I'm going to spare her the embarrassment because she doesn't like attention. So, but she accepted Jesus. We saw a lot of our kids that already knew Jesus step it up more, and texting me and Chelsea things that we can keep them accountable to, and how they want to stay in their word more, and how we can do that and better come alongside them. This is like from summer to summer has been my first full year as a youth pastor. So I really feel like we grew together in this past year, and it was cool to go into camp and to grow more and to learn more about them and who they are. A lot of our students live in difficult home lives. I would say 90% of them, an easy 90%. Majority of our students don't have either a father figure in their life, or they're growing up in a divorce home, or growing up with just difficulties that are happening. I would say out of our 40-something kids that come on Wednesday nights during the school year, only 2 of them have a mom and a dad that love them and love Jesus. And that's just the reality. That's where we're at. Another reality is that most of my kids that come on Wednesday don't come on Sunday, because they either can't get a ride, or they have excuses, or their parents aren't pro-church, but they're pro them going to youth. And thankfully, we have the school here too, Bethany Christian School, that partners with us to get those kids there on Wednesday nights as well. And so we're super, super thankful for the school. But it's just awesome to see that kids are coming even without their parents. Majority of our kids that come on Wednesday nights, actually their parents don't even go to church on Sunday. And that's why you don't see a whole lot of teenagers in here. And that's why we're trying to get them in here. And so be praying for us as we minister to these teens, these unchurched teens. If I say the word sanctification, okay, they have no clue what that means. They have no idea that over time, God works on you. Over time, God sanctifies you. God works in your life. They have no clue what some of those words mean. So we're doing really big things on Wednesday nights. Thank you for those of you that support what we're doing. I want you guys to see a video on the screen of youth camp and kind of some fun stuff that we did, and then we'll talk a little bit more about youth and what all that looks like. had a great time. It was an awesome time at camp. And what we did was we blended sardines and spinach and hot dogs and mustard, and we had them drink it. And then we did games, and then we talked about Jesus. And then I don't know how all that works out in a 1 week, but it did, and it was amazing. We saw so many kids grow in that week, and a lot of it is because of you guys. Some of you guys sponsored someone personally to go and gave them a full ride, and some of you guys maybe sponsored multiple kids. This was our first year ever. There's going to be a slide on the screen of a good friend of mine, Chris. And the Schwandas, they really see the importance of camp. They see the importance of youth ministry. They see the importance of getting kids there. So this was the first year of the Chris Schwanda Camp Memorial Scholarship. And what we did was, the only way you can qualify for this scholarship was you had to be involved in a fundraiser, so you had to put some work towards your camp balance, and then also you had to write an essay on why you should receive that scholarship. It kind of gives them some incentive to go up and say, hey, I need this, and they need to take a part in it as well. And so we were able to sponsor 7 kids to go to camp because of that scholarship. Isn't that amazing? It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. This is circa 2008, I think. This was many pounds ago for some of us. And but on the right in the black, or on the left in the black shirt is Chris, one of my best friends, accountability partner all through high school and through first years in college. And he loved camp. We have amazing memories. Some I can share with you, some I cannot. It was an awesome time that we had together, and it was a time for us both to grow. I remember one time me and Chris were at camp, and I was like, dude, I need an accountability partner. I need someone to hold me accountable to the Lord. And we were both, I think, sophomores or juniors at the time. And he was like, yeah, I'll be your accountability partner. And we met all the way up until after high school, just meeting at Starbucks and just loving on one another and praying for one another, and holding me accountable to what Jesus was calling me to do in my life, which is what I do today as a youth pastor. So it's huge. It's huge for us. It's huge for getting our kids there. Like I said, a lot of our kids don't have the financial means to get to camp, but they can write an essay, and they can show up to Walmart and do bucket drops. And thank you, Linda, for all that you do for us with that. And if you think, so let's go ahead and give them a round of applause. But 7 kids, that's an amazing thing. So if you're interested in doing something along those lines as a scholarship like that, please come and talk to me. We love getting kids to camp. It's so huge. It's so important for them to grow and get away from everything that's going on. So just make sure that if you're interested in doing that, make sure you come and talk to me. I'm going to have my seniors go in and come on up here. Jason, Lucas, and Taylor. These are my 3 seniors that I've had. So this is my first year as a full-time youth pastor. These are my seniors. Taylor was already going to church. Lucas and Jason were coming faithfully on Wednesdays, but my goal and Matt McQueen's goal as well, which is one of our high school small group leaders, our goal was to get them all 3 here on Sunday. So they've been coming on Sundays every Sunday for the past couple weeks, which is awesome. But these students, these seniors, you just don't understand what they've overcame in this past year. Each and every one of them have had to overcome things in their family, overcome things personally, and they've done that through Jesus, through keeping him number one. It's awesome to see them come in the youth room, and we'll just talk and pray for one another and see their faithfulness, and we're really going to miss them. But it doesn't end after you graduate high school. It's just the beginning. So that we know that we're excited to see you guys go on to bigger things. I love you. The church loves you. We're always going to be here for you guys. We got a gift for you guys as well. How you doing?
Make me do it.
Okay.
She just wanted me to explain what the gifts are. So first, when we did the preschoolers, Gina wrote on this. I'll read it because I didn't see it. But she said, draw near to God, and God will draw near to you, James 4:8. And they're crayons. There was a Play-Doh one too, but I don't know what that one says. Probably shape your life. Yeah. And then, let me read this one. The 5th graders going to 6th grade, they got Sour Patch Watermelon, and it says, you are one in a melon. We are excited to have you in Bethany Youth.
Aw. I saw what you guys did there.
And then I'm going to have one of them open it real quick so we don't ruin their surprise. Here. Well, I'm going to pass theirs too. Here you go. So each one of our seniors is going to be, they get a Bible. Well, you don't have to read it. Okay? So a Bible, and then we gave them a joy jar so they can focus on the good, and you write basically all the good things that have happened in your year, and then when your year is up, then you pull it all out and see what God has done, and then start over so you can focus on the good. And then they also got some Sour Patch Kids. So it says, know that even when you hit a sour patch, your faith will see you through it.
I see what you did there. That was smart. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Let's go to give our seniors one last round of applause. Good job, guys. You guys are done. You're good. You guys are good. They were not excited about coming up here. But those are my first 3 seniors, the first seniors to ever come out of Bethany Youth with me as a youth pastor. And there's been a lot of growth this past year in our youth spiritually, in our youth in numbers as well. But my volunteers know, and how I think of things is we really want to raise up leaders. And it's really easy for me to come up here and say, we're running 90 to 100 kids on Wednesday nights, and then everybody claps. But what if no leaders come out of that 90 to 100? Then what did we accomplish? So for me to have 30 and 40 kids on Wednesday nights, and to see those kids come out as leaders, that's what I long for. That's what I want. So for me, I'm focusing more on quality and not so much quantity, because sometimes we have a lot of numbers, and I've ran into a lot of people in this town that say, yes, I used to go to Bethany Church when I was in kids ministry back when there was bus ministry, and I want to see those kids here. You know what I'm saying? I want to see these seniors in church 5 years from now. That's the goal. All the way from nursery when they come in as babies. And that's what we're striving for. That's what I'm striving for. That's what Gina's striving for. That's what our volunteers are striving for. That's what we want to see. Because it's not just get them in here, do a quick program, and roll them out. I don't believe in that. We got to disciple these kids and get in there, get in their mess, get into their world. And that's what makes camp so big, is because we're able to step into that. They're away from their parents. They're able just to share what's going on. We're able to pray with them, be there for them, have fun with them, have sauce poured on me, and they laugh, and it's crazy. But we're able to do that. And that's so huge for us to do, and we love every single minute of it. And so for us, as these seniors go on and as they go into life, my goal is for you guys to stay in church as you guys go through life, whether it's at this church, whether you go on. All 3 of you guys are looking at different career avenues, and some of you guys might have to move. But I don't care where you guys go as long as you guys stay in church and understand that Jesus loves you and that he's the only thing that lasts. And that's it. That's so huge. And so for me, I work with kids on Sundays, teenagers on Wednesdays, events throughout the year, and I love your kids. I have 2 kids. I have a 1-year-old named Andy, AJ, and I have a 3-year-old that's about to be 4 named Baylin. And it keeps me up at night, and if you're a parent, you know this feeling to want them to love Jesus and to know Jesus and to live a better life than you lived. And sometimes it keeps me up at night. It's brought me to tears before to think about my kids accepting Jesus and loving him with their whole heart. But I want you to understand something, that your kids have done that for me as well. There's nights when I think about the students that are represented in this room because I want them to love Jesus and know Jesus. When I see a student come into youth and then fall away, my heart breaks for that student. I can't get them out of my mind. And that's because I was called to do this. I don't do this because the check is just crazy. I don't do this because it's super duper fun. I do this because this is a calling on my life. I remember going into pastor's office from the time I got hired on and walking in once a year. I didn't want to bombard him, okay? Because he's quicker than me with words and I'm not. So I would just go in there once a year and I'd say, Pastor, just so you know, I want you to make sure that you understand that I have a heart for teens. And he would say, I know, Prince, I know. Just be patient. We'll see what the future holds. And that's awesome. Just keep loving our kids. And I have a heart for our kids as well. And it's awesome that to have the position of kids on Sundays, youth on Wednesdays, and to be pouring into both of those, and also to be able to pour into the school. Mrs. Schwanda allows me to do their chapel, which is amazing. But I have a heart for these students. I have a heart for your teenagers and your kids. I want them to love Jesus. I want them to be all in, because that's the only thing that lasts. I remember growing up without a dad, knowing that things don't last. At 9 years old, my dad was gone, and he wasn't coming back. And at 9 years old, I learned that things do not last, but Jesus does. And I had to learn that later on in life. But once I got a hold of Jesus, that was it. That was the only thing. Weight loss doesn't last, I'm telling you, okay? You got to work for it, all right? Oreos do not last, especially double stuff. Love it. Put some mayonnaise on that. All right. And so, I mean, they just don't last, but Jesus lasts. Yes, I want Balin and AJ to fall in love with Jesus and to have a good time in life and to get good jobs and yada, yada, yada. But as long as they love Jesus, they're set. They're set. Absolutely 100% set for eternity. Eternity. They're good. And that's why we make Sunday so serious for us as volunteers, but yet so fun for your kids. I want your kids to wake you up on Sunday. I had a person come up to me and say, well, how come we don't pick up teenagers? Like, how come we don't go and pick them up? And I said, have you ever seen a teenager try and get to a mall on a Saturday? She said, yeah. I said, they'll get to church if they really want to be there. And our students, they do. They're getting rides from this person, and they get there. And we're able to take them home. I normally don't get home on Wednesdays until around 11:30 because we do drop-offs all the way down to Grant. Anything from Grant all the way back here to 192, we do drop-offs the whole way. And that's awesome because those times I'm able to speak with students. When I first got this position last year, I had a couple volunteers, and they're awesome. This church is amazing with volunteers, I'm telling you. And they came up to me and they're like, Andy, like, let's work out a schedule. Like, I'll help you drive. I'll help you drive the students home. You don't need to be driving the kids home. And I was like, no, like, that's my thing. I want to do it. And they're like, why would you want to drive until 10:30 every night? Why would you want to do that? And I'm like, because it gives me time with these students to talk with them one-on-one. And I have students that are fighting to get up to the shotgun so they can just share with me. All right? My seniors, my two boys are not happy about graduating because they can't ride in the van anymore on Wednesday nights. Now, sometimes out in Palm Bay, okay, I'm not going to lie to you, we might look for deer with the spotlight sometimes, all right? But that's just because it's fun and they look forward to it, all right? Everything is safe, okay? But we just have fun. We just have fun together and love one another and be there for each other. And it's so huge, and it's because of you guys that believe in youth ministry, you guys that believe in kids ministry that we're able to do that. And it's not just me, it's my wife too. Chelsea's the only reason why I'm able to do what I do at full capacity. Some wives will either drag you back, some wives push you forward. And Chelsea pushes me forward every single day. Go do it. Go meet with that student. Go meet with them. Go talk to their parents. Have you talked to their parents? Yes, I talked with their parents. I mean, she's on top of it. You know, even the little stuff. Every time we've gone to camp since we were young, super young, and we were counselors, Chelsea's always done this thing where she writes verses and puts them throughout her cabin. Puts them in the girl's mirror. You're beautiful. You're wonderfully made. Just the little things. Like, she gets that. All right? In the boys' cabin, we have one rule. That's shower every night, okay? I don't put up any verses or anything. I'm not going to lie to you, okay? But Chelsea goes that extra mile. And so we're a team. We're a team that's loving these teenagers. We're a team that's loving these kids. We're a team that really stinking cares. I care about you, all right? I care about your kids. I think about it at night. All right, when I should be watching America's Got Talent, all right? I'm thinking about these things because I really do care. Are y'all tracking with me on this, okay? When kids camp, when youth camp roll around, I'm excited. I'm pumped. There's times where I just want to cry. There's times where I text Pastor, thank you so much for this position. Thank you so much for allowing God to use me in this, okay? And if you're a senior pastor, that's some good text, okay? That's what you want to get, all right? Because I just love my job so much because I was called to do it. And when you're following God's calling, there's nothing better. There's nothing better than loving on these teenagers week in and week out, reminding them that they're loved, reminding these kids week in or week out, whether they're getting bullied, whether they're going through hard times, and then I have also, I'm trying to partner more with the parents in this next year. I got dads coming up to me with teenage girls like, Andy, I have no clue what she's saying, okay? I don't know what she's saying, Andy. I need help. I don't understand it. Now she's crying. She's crying. Andy, all I did was tell her she was beautiful. I don't get it. You know, and I'm able to talk with these parents, and that's what I want to do. I want to partner with these parents. And God just had his hand over every single camp that we did. We had some cancellations at youth camp, and we were able to bring Kiara last minute, was able to come in. Students that maybe weren't able to afford it got full rides from random people. How do you explain that? It's just God doing his thing. We had a middle school boy that prayed the night before they found out, prayed that he would go to camp, okay? The next day, I have a person come to me and say, hey, I want to pay specifically for this person to go to camp, okay? Well, I didn't know that that person prayed the night before that he wanted to go to camp. How do you explain that? How do you explain? That doesn't make any sense. But that's God doing his thing through these kids. And that's so, so huge. So Bethany Church, thank you for allowing me to do God's calling on my life here. I love every minute of it. I love working here. I love whether it's painting, whether it's working with students, whether it's small groups, whatever it might be. I love my job because I love Jesus Christ, and he's working through me to love your kids. And he does it week in and week out. And I love it. I love it because that's what God put on my life. And I can't get out of it. It's because of this next generation that we're able to pour into these kids, and we're able to do it because of this ministry at Bethany. And we do it week in and week out. From the time these babies come in, and you always know new moms, okay, because don't want to leave their kid in the nursery. We were like, good luck, all right? But from the time they come in as babies, all the way till they're seniors, getting ready to go out into the real world, okay, as crazy as it is, we have a plan at Bethany for each stage. Each stage. You can be as involved in it as possible. You could be not involved, and I'm still going to bug you. It could be either way, but we have a plan for each stage of your kid at Bethany. That's awesome. That's an amazing thing. That's a powerful thing. We have take-home sheets in kids. We have take-home sheets in nursery to give you guys the tools to do it. All parents love their kids, but sometimes we have a hard time discipling our kids. And that's why it's so big that we are discipling ourselves, that we're getting discipled. We got to make sure that us as parents, we're getting discipled.